Aside from sports cars, pickup trucks are some of the best vehicles to dress up and make your own. There's something about that macho vibe of a manly truck that truly gets the blood going. Now what we have here is a pickup truck that has been kitted out straight from the dealership. This is a Mitsubishi Strada Super Shogun, and in this video, we get to review it and drive it. Let's do this. Hello guys, I'm Regan and welcome back to another truck review. If you're new to my channel, I hope you click that subscribe button for your regular dose of Philippine automotive content. If you're my subscriber already, well, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show after you click that like button. Also, special thanks to Mitsubishi BGC and the Autohub Group for inviting us over to feature the 2022 Mitsubishi Strada Super Shogun, that's a lot of S there, and do this review. If you are within the area and you need a Mitsubishi, head on down here to Mitsubishi BGC and check them out. For any inquiries, you may also contact the person in my pinned comment below. The name Shogun here should not be confused for the Pajero or the Montero because it's applied to the Strada right here. To be honest guys, I was also a bit confused while preparing for this video because I do know that the Mitsubishi Shogun is the Pajero for the UK market. The Shogun is an Autohub-Exclusive Strada where Autohub as the dealer will kit out your Strada according to your preference. Now, the Mitsubishi Strada GLS 4x2 has a retail price of 1,340,000 for this white example, but if you want the full Super Shogun kit that we have here, well, the retail price will go up to 1,405,000 Philippine pesos. Now, Mitsubishi has their own dressed-up Strada called the Strada Athlete, so in this video, we'll find out if the Super Shogun presents a better value. The Super Shogun gets a face that's pretty similar to the Athlete, but it has some design cues that appeal to me even more. We get the same blacked-out dynamic shield front fascia here, similar to the Athlete, but the Super Shogun gets a splash of red right here in the front skid plate. Now put that together, that black and the red with this white Super Shogun color, and you get a look that is truly intimidating. Now if there's one thing that I wish that Autohub did with the Super Shogun, is that I wish that they blacked out this Mitsubishi logo as well here. You see in the Strada Athlete, we also get that chromed out Mitsubishi logo, but if Autohub gave this that shiny blacked out treatment, well, the Super Shogun would look even more badass. Now, since this is based off the Strada GLS 4x2, we get the same lighting units here. We've got halogen projector-type headlights as well as halogen fog lights. The side profile of the Super Shogun shows off its unique design. It gets more subdued decals here from the front fenders to the lower part of the doors and even to the back of your truck bed. It's not as in-your-face as the one found in the Strada Athlete, and in my opinion, guys, I like this look much better. Now, the Super Shogun also gets a black roof, blacked out door handles, and also a blacked out power folding side mirrors with LED turn signals. Now, we also have here a sports bar that also has the Strada name embossed right there. Now, for the wheels and tires, the Super Shogun has the same wheel design and size as the Strada Athlete. These are 18-inch alloy wheels and they're wrapped in 265/60 R18 tires. Behind these wheels, we get ventilated disc brakes up front, drums at the back, and for your suspension, we have a double wishbone setup in the front, and being a pickup truck, we have leaf springs at the back. Now, the ground clearance is similar to the Strada Athlete. The Super Shogun has a ground clearance of 220 millimeters, and for the water wading depth, well, it stands at 700 millimeters. The Strada Athlete may have black painted rear bumpers, but the Super Shogun comes with silver painted rear bumpers. Now, we still get the same unassisted tailgate here that we first saw in the Athlete, so you'll need a little bit of muscle to operate this thing. Now, the Super Shogun may have the words super in its name, but when it comes to its brake towing and the payload performance, well, it is a little bit meh. The brake towing capacity of the Super Shogun still stands at 2,500 kilograms, while the maximum payload capacity is at 912 kilos. Now, this Super Shogun may not be as strong and as powerful as the other mid-sized trucks in the category, but what it lacks in strength, it makes up for it with speed and agility. The Super Shogun has the same engine as the Strada GLS that it's based on. This is a 2.4-liter turbo diesel MIVEC engine that puts out 179 horsepower and 430 Newton-meters of torque. Now, the power is sent to the rear wheels via a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, these power figures might seem a bit lower versus its newer competitors, but do keep in mind that the Super Shogun Strada is a lighter pickup truck when it comes to curb weight, so it should feel faster and should be quicker on its feet. Now, that's something that I'd like to test out in our drive impressions later on. The Super Shogun gets the same cabin layout as the one found in the Strada GLS. We get black fabric seats here and we have a mesh design in the center because we don't get those two-tone orange leather seats that can only be found in the Strada Athlete. Now, the Super Shogun also has a leather-wrapped steering wheel here, and the steering wheel also has your cruise control buttons, hands-free buttons for connectivity, and a pair of paddle shifters. Now, the wheel also adjusts for tilt, and it also telescopes a little bit. Oh, there you go, it telescopes. So that is good for drivers of all sizes. Now, when you look at the gauge cluster, this is a traditional layout, guys. We've got an analog tach, an analog speedo, and a colored multi-information display in the middle. Now, this gauge cluster has aged pretty well, but what hasn't aged well is the infotainment system. You see, we get a smallish 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system here that only has Bluetooth connectivity and smartphone mirroring. Now, considering that most, or if not all, the competitors in the mid-size pickup truck segment already offer Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, well, the fact that we still don't get that here, even in this Super Shogun, guys, yeah, it's a little bit of a demerit or a bummer for this Super Shogun. Now, the good thing, though, is we do get the image of the reverse camera here. So at least, yes, this Strada GLS Super Shogun gets reverse camera, and the image quality is pretty decent. Now, when you go down from there, you have a single-zone, fully automatic climate control system. And when you go down further, you get a reminder that the Stradas that we get here in the Philippines are not the fully equipped Stradas that are available from Mitsubishi. You have here an array of blanks right smack in the center of your center stack right here to serve as a reminder that no, we are not getting all the goodies and the amenities in this Strada GLS Super Shogun. Now, when you go down from there, we have here a manual handbrake, and right beside it, we have a couple of cup holders, which I will subject to my clean canteen test. Now, I've done this with the Strada Athlete and it passed, so I'm pretty sure it's also going to pass. So the Super Shogun's cup holders, yes, it passes my clean canteen test with flying colors. Now, when you look at the entire cabin area of this Super Shogun Strada GLS, you see that we have the same layout, the same materials used, which means that we are surrounded by hard plastics. The top of the dashboard is hard plastics, the door cards are hard plastics, even the lower part of the dashboard is also hard plastics. So with all the flash and the pizzazz of the exterior upgrades that this Super Shogun has, well, the cabin is still very much a Strada GLS. It's a straightforward, workhorse, utilitarian cabin that won't win any beauty contests, but hey, it will get the job done. The back seat of the Super Shogun is similar to the Strada Athlete, so we get a decent amount of space here. You'll also see that we have a grab handle right here on the B pillar, which should help you climb into this truck. And once you're inside, you'll see that at 5'6", with this driver's seat in my driving position, we still get around 7 inches of knee room here and a good 4.5 inches of headroom. Now, that is a decent amount of space and could easily and comfortably fit 2 average adults right here at the back. You could also put a third one in the middle. It's going to be a little bit tight, but it is still quite doable. Now, when it comes to amenities, well, this Super Shogun Strada doesn't really get too much amenities here. We get a couple of USB charging ports here, and we also have a tiny little center armrest with a pair of cup holders as well as ISOFIX anchors. Alright guys, so we're now driving the Super Shogun Strada, which is based off the Strada GLS. So it's pretty much like driving a Strada GLS because we've got the same mechanicals, we've got the same cabin feel here. So yeah, this is pretty much like a review of the Mitsubishi Strada GLS. Now, the first thing I notice is the visibility of this thing. You see, the forward visibility of this Super Shogun Strada is a little bit, well, below average when you compare it to the other trucks that I've reviewed. You see, you've got a pretty tall hood. I mean, I could really see the hood, and the windshield size itself is smaller than the other trucks that I've driven. So that means that you've got a little bit of a blind spot towards the front part of your front passenger there. So you have to be careful with that. But in terms of visibility, it's not as good as the other trucks, but it doesn't mean that it's gonna be hard to see out of. It's not like let's say a Chevrolet Camaro. Now that thing really has a poor forward visibility. Now the good thing here though is the sideways visibility is pretty decent. The belt line isn't really that high, so I've got a good size windows right here on the sides. Another thing that you'll notice immediately in this Super Shogun Strada is that sound of that diesel engine. Even at idle, that engine noise is getting inside the cabin, which tells me that either this thing doesn't have too much insulation between the engine firewall and the cabin, or we just have a really old school diesel engine powering the Strada. But either way guys, yes, even at idle, you could hear it. It's coming inside and you know that you are driving a diesel pickup truck. Now, even if that diesel rattle makes its way inside the cabin itself, when it comes to comfort, it's pretty good. It's pretty comfortable. We get a good and cold air conditioning system here, and these seats are truly comfortable, just like any Mitsubishi seats that I've already encountered before. The suspension handling is also quite surprising. You see, I always thought that the Ford Ranger would have the most comfortable suspension tuning amongst all the pickup trucks that I've reviewed, but the Super Shogun Strada now will give it a run for its money. I love that this thing doesn't feel like I'm driving a pickup truck. It feels more like a 7-seater pickup base SUV because the ride is refined and smooth. We don't get too much bumps and jolts inside the cabin, and yeah, you just have to contend with that loud diesel noise coming from the engine. But other than that guys, well, this is one comfortable pickup truck. Steering feel of the Strada is also on point. It's got a good amount of heft to it, but it's not too heavy that it feels like you're piloting a 10-wheeler truck. As I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to demonstrate. You see, we're going to see the turning radius of this thing, and as you can see, despite being a mid-sized truck, it only occupies around 2 lanes on the other side in order to negotiate a turn. So that's also a good thing about this thing. Now the Super Shogun Strada, in terms of steering, I love that the steering ratio is also sharp and the response is also quite quick. Now considering that this is a pickup truck, I'm not expecting this kind of quickness and agility when it comes to its steering feel, but it's there. Wow! Now, I did mention that the Strada is one of the lighter mid-size pickup trucks available in the country, so that should translate to a better acceleration feel. So let's try that here on this stretch of road. Whoa! Okay, yes. You know guys, sometimes the numbers on the spec sheet will not tell you the entire story. Now, this only has 179 horsepower, but the way it accelerates, it picks up speed even faster than the newer pickup trucks that I've tested that have more horsepower than this Super Shogun Strada. So that tells you that it's not just outright horsepower or torque figures, but it also has a lot to do with the curb weight of the car. Now, this pickup has the lightest curb weight amongst all the mid-size pickup trucks available locally, so that also explains why the acceleration feels so fast. Oh yeah. All right, let's go. Oh yeah, baby. I'm telling you guys, you know, numbers on the spec sheet are really not the be-all and end-all when it comes to these things. You really have to take it out for a test drive to see how it behaves on the road, guys. I mean, my goodness. And I'm pretty sure that a big part of it also boils down to how the transmission is tuned in this thing. You see, the Super Shogun Strada still has that older 6-speed automatic transmission. But the way this transmission puts the power down, oh yeah, let's go. Yes, man. You see, this thing is really tuned for speed. Wow! Wow! Oh man, I love this. I am loving this, guys. Yeah, now I understand why there is such a loyal following for the Strada, for the Mitsubishi Strada. Because even if it has that older engine and older transmission, man, this thing could really roll. It could really put the power down, yeah. Oh yeah, woo! I love it. Woo! Yeah. Another thing that I love about it is that despite being a pickup truck, it could take corners pretty fast. Wow. See, I am going at a faster clip than usual on this road, and my goodness, the suspension is tuned like it's a sport suspension. It's like I'm driving a sport truck rather than, you know, a workhorse pickup truck. So that is I have no words, guys. I love it. I really love it. Wow. You see, now Mitsubishi Philippines will really have to lend me one of these for a few days to a week so that I could take it out for a long drive and really see how it feels on the road, because my goodness, I couldn't believe it. But yeah, the Mitsubishi Strada in this Super Shogun, guys. This is one hell of a truck. Wow. So overall, guys, well, the Super Shogun Strada GLS has knocked my socks off, to put it lightly. I didn't expect it at all because I was kind of expecting a sedate drive in this thing. I was expecting that, you know, I wouldn't really have too much fun, but my goodness, oh wow. This is the most fun I've had in a truck since I took that Ford Ranger Raptor to fly out on speed bumps. Now, here's the thing, guys. We get the same driving feel in the Mitsubishi Strada Athlete. So it now boils down to the question, which one is the better Strada? Is it the Strada Athlete or is it this Autohub-Exclusive Strada Super Shogun? The Super Shogun Strada by Autohub is a different take on how a dressed-up Strada should look like. It's a limited edition truck, so you are assured that you're only one of a few on the road. Now, when it comes to the question, which one is better, the Strada Athlete or this Super Shogun? Well, friends, it's not really a question of which one is better. The Super Shogun will appeal to those who want a truck that is kitted out straight from their dealership. Now, in the end, that is the essence of customization, to make the truck truly your own. So if the Strada Athlete doesn't really get your blood going, maybe the Super Shogun will. Anyway, thanks for watching.